Health these days is the most discussed topic. We even land up debating over this topic for many hours together with our friends and family. Sometimes we even get caught reading too much about it in social media and tabloids just to find out what's the latest going on. We often hear people say that what we do today has an impact on our future. So, does that stand true when it comes to our health? Do we need to future proof our health? Today, the world is facing three main problems, and these problems increase the need for each one of us to look into our health today and future proof it. The first problem the world is facing is the triple burden of malnourishment. We all know of undernutrition and overnutrition. The third one is micronutrient deficiencies. These lead to non communicable diseases like diabetes, heart health, cancer, mental health, etc. And a developing country like India bears the burden of all these three. The second problem is the pandemic. It has forced us to believe and understand the consequences of not prioritizing our health. In fact, it has shifted the narrative from weight loss to immunity. Now, whether we take this opportunity to look at health from a holistic view or continue looking for immunity from pills, packages, and potions, this too will have an impact on our future. The third problem is the ecological health. We all are well aware of the drastic changes in the climate and its influence on food security, no matter which part of the world we belong to. Truly, everything that each individual does has an impact on their ecosystem and environment. So, what is it that we can do to make sure that we do not add to these problems of the world? Take a sensible and sustainable approach towards your own health. And this is exactly what even the latest in nutrition science is. Today, nutrition science says that for each individual to stay healthy and make sure that the environment they live in is in harmony, we must go back to our traditional, diverse, and time tested eating practices. To give you an example, the latest Canadian food guidelines emphasize that we must move beyond nutrients, which are calories, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and only eat a traditional food. Now, this is exactly what our dadis and nannies have taught us because it's the only sustainable thing. So, there are three rules that each one of us must follow to ensure that our approach towards our health is sensible and sustainable. The first rule is track your metabolic health and not weight loss. The weight loss industry and food industry are multi-billion-dollar industries. For years together, we've been conditioned to believe that when it comes to our health, we're all about our weight on the scale or our dress size or our body shape. In fact, this is the reason why year after year there's a new diet trend emerging in the market, which has only led to confusion, and it has only worked in the favor of their profits but not in the favor of public health. So, when it comes to our health and well being, we must only go by how we feel and what we feel on a daily basis. Because what we feel can be experienced but not weighed on the weighing scale. So, there are 6 metabolic health parameters which we must track on a daily basis, which give us a holistic view of our health. And these are our energy levels throughout the day, our sleep quality at night, cravings post meals, our digestion, exercise compliance, and periods and pain-free periods for women. So, the second rule is to eat food and not nutrients. Food is multidisciplinary in nature. It influences the health of the person, their local economy, and global ecology. So when we make food decisions, we must follow the food system approach, which is take into account your climate, crop cycle, culture, and cuisine. In simpler words, just eat your local, seasonal, and traditional food. The third rule is Put the food through the grandmom test. This is an easy and fun way to know if the food is good for you and to ensure that it follows the food system approach. So, if your grandmom recognizes the food, has grown up eating it, and knows the food's name in her local language, then this food passes this test. Let me give you an example. Oats. Oats is a food that your grandmom probably recognizes today, but has surely not grown up eating it or knows its name in any other language other than English. So, oats fails this test. What about rice? It's a grain that our grandmoms have eaten for years together. She recognizes it and knows its name in various languages. So, rice passes this test. So in 2018, we had conducted a public health project, and these three rules were the basis of that project, which had led to sustainable improvements in the health of our participants. It was called the 12-week fitness project, which was conducted from Jan to March 2018 and included a follow-up in December 2018. More than 125,000 participants had registered for this project from more than 40 countries across the globe. Our participants at the beginning of the project had rated themselves on the basis of the 6 metabolic health parameters: their energy levels, sleep quality, digestion, cravings post meals, exercise compliance, and their periods for all the women participants. These metabolic health parameters were tracked every week throughout the 12 weeks. We had also tracked inch loss around their waistline at the navel at the end of each month. There was one guideline shared with the participants every week. These guidelines were simple and easy, which were to be followed in a cumulative manner. All the tips suggested were related to their food habits, their eating practices, their lifestyle, physical activity, and exercise. All the food related guidelines were culturally compliant and grandmom approved. So the results of this project were really overwhelming. About 65% of our participants had seen or experienced a huge improvement in their overall health. 80% of them had experienced at least an inch loss around their waistline. Because these guidelines were simple and our participants could culturally resonate with them, almost 90% of them followed these guidelines till the end of the year, till December 2018. They in fact reported that they had started sharing a much more positive relationship with food, which was fearless. They had a much more better outlook towards their health and had started using lesser plastic in their daily life. We were very lucky because this project was even published in the International Journal of Public Health. Also, we were invited at FENS in 2019, which is Europe's largest nutrition conference, to present this project. So, when it comes to our health, we know that only sustainability should be chased. Small things done on a daily basis in a consistent manner take us a long way. So, here are 5 good habits for good health. The first good habit is start your day with a handful of dry fruits or a fresh fruit on waking up. This meal allows our body to regulate blood sugars well throughout the day. It also allows us to experience great digestion where we have no acidity, gas, or bloating. So what about that cup of tea or coffee? Have it following this meal or along with your breakfast. The second good habit is avoid going hungry for long hours between meals. Between breakfast and lunch, include a homemade seasonal sharbat like kokum sharbat, aam panna, nimbu sharbat. And between 4 to 6 p.m. every evening, plan for a wholesome snack. This is the time when we are most hungry. So have poha, upma, roti ghee jaggery, sandwich, or a fresh fruit. What this meal helps us with is, there's a hormone in our body called cortisol, which is the stress hormone. It naturally dips through the evening as the day ends. Eating a wholesome snack allows cortisol to dip naturally, which allows us to stay calm at the end of the day and sleep well. Also, this meal ensures that we don't overeat at night at dinner time and stay light. The third good habit is include a homemade chutney or pickle daily in your diet. Chutneys and pickles are rich sources of vitamins and minerals. They improve the gut diversity, the food diversity. It enhances the flavor of our food and improves our overall health. The fourth good habit is have your dinner 3 hours prior to bedtime. If we eat an early dinner, we're able to digest and absorb the nutrients from the dinner smoothly and optimally. And if we eat a rice-based meal for dinner, then even better. So some of the options of rice-based meals are dal rice or khichdi with ghee, curd rice, pulao. These are the most amazing go-to meal options for dinner. The fifth good habit is follow your sleep routine and exercise daily. So, staying physically active and 30 minutes of exercise, along with a disciplined lifestyle where we fix our wake up time and bedtimes, make a huge impact on our overall health. So, here I would also like to address one of the most commonly asked questions: how much to eat? Now, this is a question we must ask ourselves because we are the only ones who know the best about how hungry we are. Even before I answer this question, it's important to know that our appetite is a moving entity. It changes daily based on the different season, based on our activity, sleep quality, and various other factors. So, if ever in doubt how much quantity of food to eat, follow the 3 S's. The first S is sit and eat your meal. Fix a spot and sit there every day to eat the food. If we sit in cross-leg position called Sukhasana, then the digestion of the food becomes easier. The second S is eat in silence. It's important that when we eat our meal, we're not distracted. So keep the gadgets away and eat your meal in silence. The third S is eat slowly. When we eat slowly, we're able to relish each bite and chew each bite well and allow ourselves to hear the sound of chewing. In fact, we also allow our stomach to listen to ourselves and stop eating just at the right time. So when we sit and eat in silence and slowly, we're able to just eat the right quantities of food. And this is exactly what helps us to ensure that we're not fixing quantities but eating the amount of food we are hungry for on a different day. So basically, eating right and sustainable lifestyle are the key to future-proof our health and our planet. So let's take a holistic approach towards our health, which is beyond the weighing scale or our dress size or our body shape, and is freely found in our kitchens, in our grandmom's wisdom, and in our farms. So take small steps, do small things on a daily basis in a consistent way, build good habits for good health. Thank you.